So there's something that put in the quiz that we did last time. It's a stepped fixed cost. Okay, so let's do this. We usually say fixed costs don't change. Okay, then variable cost changes based on output. So when your output increases, uh, you find that variable cost changes, but fixed cost does not change. So a good example of a fixed cost is rent. It's like when you rent a building, the number of units don't affect your rentals. You still have to pay the same rent per month, right? So here's the thing, guys. I have a question for you guys. I have a question for you guys. Let's say you sell vehicles, right? So one showroom can keep 10 vehicles. So the rent for that showroom is 10,000. Okay, let me write it. So let's say you have 10 vehicles, 10 cars for sale. Then to rent one showroom, you pay 20,000 per month. So one showroom can keep 10 cars, and the entire building you have to rent that building for 20,000. So here's the thing. What if you start selling 20 vehicles? If you start selling 20 vehicles, it means you have to rent another showroom. Okay? The fact that you're renting another showroom means that you pay for two, your rentals will now be for two showrooms. So 20,000 for the first showroom that can keep 10 vehicles. Another showroom has to be rented that will keep the other 10. So your rent has increased. Yes, you are paying rent, it was fixed at 20,000. But the fact that output has increased means that you need to rent another store or another showroom in order to keep your units. So you've seen here, fixed costs can also increase, but they've increased because your production has doubled, or your production needs another factory for you to produce all the units. So when fixed costs increase based on that logic, we call it the stepped fixed costs. Okay, a stepped fixed cost simply means fixed cost has increased because output has exceeded what your current fixed cost can absorb. Okay, so the question here says the following shows the total overhead cost for given levels of a company's total output. Sorry. So the cost of 1,000 units is 4,000. The cost of 3,000 units is 10,000. The cost of 4,000 units is 10,500. The sentence here says a stepped fixed cost of 500 occurs at an output level above 3,500 units. What would be the cost of 8,000 units using the high-low technique? Okay, so what is this sentence even saying? It says a stepped fixed cost, meaning fixed cost increase by 500 when output level is above 35. Okay, so it's saying because the units have increased, the fixed cost to increase by 500. Just like in our simple example, when vehicles increased to 20, they had to rent another showroom, so their rentals increased from 20,000 to 40,000, or their rentals stepped up from 20,000 to 40,000. Okay, just like in this case, a stepped fixed cost of 500 occurs at an output level above 35 units. So when output exceeds 35, they have to rent another store, or I don't know what type of fixed cost they have. Maybe they have to pay more workers, right? Their salaries, maybe they were fixed because their output has increased. It means they'll need more workers. So their salaries, they are fixed, yes, but their salaries has increased. But the key is that when output exceeds 35, that's when the fixed cost increase by 500. So let's look at this one. 1,000 is below 35. So there's no stepped fixed cost. 3,000 is below 35. So there's no stepped fixed cost. But for 4,000, 4,000 is above 35, meaning there's a stepped fixed cost of 500 in the total cost. Now, I wanted you guys to know that for such questions, you have to remove the stepped fixed cost. The question says for units above 35. So you got the question, pick all the units above 35, remove the cost, the stepped fixed cost from the total cost. So in this case, we have 1,000. 1,000 is below 35. 3,000 is below 35. But 4,000 is above. So the cost of 4,000 units, that's where we subtract the stepped fixed cost. So here, we'll say 10,500 minus the stepped fixed cost of 500. Yeah, so that's how you do it. So if we remove 500 here, we remain with what? 500. We remain with 10,000. Yeah, then we can quickly apply the high-low method. So high is now 4,000 at 10,000. Low is 1,000 at 4,000. Quickly, we find the variable cost per unit. B is difference in total cost 4,000. Oh, wait, 10,000 minus 4,000. That's 6,000. Then the difference in units 4,000 minus 1,000, that's 3,000. So the variable cost here is 2 kwacha per unit. 2 kwacha per unit. Then we quickly find the fixed cost. The fixed cost is total cost. Let's use the last one here. The total cost is 10,000. Total cost minus variable cost. Minus variable cost, the units down here 4,000. So we say 4,000 times this 2 here, that's 8,000. So the fixed cost is 2,000 kwacha. So the question says, what would be the cost of 8,000 units using the high-low technique? First of all, to produce 1 unit, they are spending 2 kwacha. So the total cost would be 2. How many units? For 8,000 units. So 2 times 8,000. That's the variable cost, guys. Then the fixed cost is 2,000. So total cost is variable cost plus fixed costs. There are videos that explains the high-low properly. I'm explaining because I believe you guys have ideas. Although this is the entire procedure. So total cost is variable cost. Variable cost, you say variable cost for one unit times the total units. Total units are 8,000 here. That's the variable cost. Then plus fixed cost. Fixed cost is 2,000. Oh wait, let me remind you that when output exceeds 3.5, what has happened to the fixed cost? When output exceeds above 3.5, fixed cost step up or fixed cost increase by 500. So yes, here we have to say plus 500. But why are we saying plus 500? We are saying plus 500 because 8,000 units is also above 3.5. So we add the stepped fixed cost. The fixed cost, yes, were 2,000. But for units above 3.5, the fixed cost increased by 500, meaning the fixed cost actually become 2.5. So if the question was like, find the cost of 2,000 units, we wouldn't have added the 500 because 2,000 is below 3.5. Let me end here, guys. Let's try to go through as I prepare another question for you guys. Feel free to ask wherever you are not clear. You can ask in the group.